Exercises won't help your thoracic outlet syndrome. In fact, they can actually make it worse, which is why I'm going to tell you why they don't help you, why everyone's telling you to do them, and what you should do instead. My name's Adam. I'm the owner of Training Massage, and I've helped thousands of people fix their thoracic outlet syndrome when no one else was able to. And the reason why these exercises are not helping you in the first place is because they're trying to pull on different joints that are locked up with trigger points in different muscles. You see, the whole goal of these exercises is to shorten those muscles, which in turn is going to pull the bones that they're attached to closer together. This will create space in your thoracic outlet and therefore decompressing on your nerves and blood vessels. So that's the idea anyways, but you got to ask yourself, why are these muscles weak in the first place? And the reason why is because you have those other muscles that are overactive and overly tight that make these muscles weak. And the best way to think about this is to think of a seesaw. Now, whenever you think of a seesaw, you obviously know that when one side goes down, the other side has to go up, and it's pivoting on that center axis. Well, imagine now for a moment, one side of that seesaw is actually tied down to the floor, preventing that side from rising up. Now, if you were to try to do exercises, right, shorten the muscles, shorten the long side and pull it down to the floor, you're going to find it's harder to do because of all those knots on the other side. But basically, because muscles work in pairs and agonist-antagonist relationships, whenever one side gets super short and tight, like the ones that create compression on your nerves and blood vessels and make your pain, the other muscles that oppose it have to get weak in order to allow that. And what ends up happening is everyone tries to strengthen those muscles in order to decompress those nerves and blood vessels. But when you look at this through the analogy, you can see that this doesn't work, or at least this isn't going to work for at least 6 to 12 months at minimum. So the question is now, why does everybody recommend it? Oh, and real quick, if you want an actual step-by-step plan on how to fix your TOS in record time, make sure to check out the link in the description below. And the main reason why everyone is telling you this information to begin with is because they are technically specialists in exercise. Let's think about this for a second, right? When it comes to doctors, we have several types of doctors for very specific problems. You have chiropractors who focus mostly on adjustments. You have acupuncturists who only basically do little needles in you in order to fix your pain and your problems, right? Massage therapists, we mostly focus on releasing tight muscles. What do you think a specialist like a physical therapist does? Exercises. That's their bread and butter. That's what their lane is when it comes to rehab and all those kind of things. Sure, they know how to do a few massages. Sure, they could probably do an adjustment, but their bread and butter is going to be exercises, which is why this is what you see all the time. So if exercises are not the answer, then what should we do? Well, first off, I want to say that exercises will help your thoracic outlet syndrome, but they must come at the right time during the treatment. You see, in order to treat TOS, you can't just throw one treatment at it and hope that it works. The body is a little more complicated than just tight muscles, than just weak muscles, and just altered joints, right? Because all of that is happening at the same time. And because of that, you have to treat all those issues at the same time. Otherwise, it's just going to go back to the same problems. And that is why it's not that exercises are wrong. It's just that you shouldn't do them first. The first thing you need to do is release those trigger points, those knots in those tight muscles that create that compression in the first place. By focusing on releasing those trigger points, those fascia restrictions, those tight muscles, not only are the nerves and blood vessels around them going to have more room to wiggle around and not get compressed, but this also sets you up for success with the upcoming therapies that you need to do, which includes stretching and mobility as the next step. You see, once your tissues are loosened up, once those trigger points are gone, or at least like dissipated, then now those tissues, those muscles have a chance to lengthen. they have a chance to get restored back to their original length and position, along with the joints that they pull on. For example, if your pec minor is tight, it can pull your scapula away, creating something like a winged scapula. But if those knots in that pec minor are gone or loosened, that scapula now has a chance to go back to that proper position. Now, finally, now that you are done releasing the tight muscles and then improving the mobility and lengthen them, now is the time to strengthen those muscles, those weaker muscles that you've been trying to do this whole time. Because now that all those other muscles that oppose it are loosened up, those weaker muscles will have a better chance at activating, getting stronger, and keeping that pain away. Going back to the pec minor for your example, if it is short and tight, it is going to end up pulling that scapula away from the spine, which stretches out the rhomboids and makes them weak. And then you try to exercise those rhomboids like you've always tried for your TOS, but you can't because the pec minor is tight and the scapula is out of place. This is why you release those trigger points first in the pec minor. You then improve the mobility and the stretching in the pec minor and the scapula. And then you strengthen those rhomboids at the end to secure a stronger position. This is what you need to do instead. You need to start treating thoracic outlet syndrome in a step-by-step approach and not just one treatment at a time, hoping that it works. The treatment you get is going to depend on who you see that day. And sadly, the confusing part is that they all usually tend to kind of work, or they have some sort of proof that they do work. But at the end of the day, they all tend to kind of relapse because there's missing those other pieces. And that is why you got to do it in a step-by-step sequence in order to get rid of all the pain, improve your mobility, and then strengthen those weaker muscles. And if you want to learn how to do all of that on your own without relying on any more doctors, therapists, or anything like that, then check out the Nerve Fix Blueprint. The link for that is in the description below. I can guarantee it is going to be the best thoracic outlet syndrome program you have ever gone through. And I can guarantee you will get rid of at least half of your pain, most likely all of it, within 30 days, or else I'll send you back your money. Make sure to check out that program in the link below. Or if you're just not ready to commit yet, check out this video popping up in the corner to learn more about releasing these trigger points.